are listening to the War Rapport.
Let's look at the defensive side of things. And a lot of was made of a few people on Mercer's offense who had really good games. Al Wooten, the running back, he's kind of a big guy, kind of a bruiser type of running back. Had a good game, but also I think they have a change of pace running back, Austin Douglas, who isn't pictured. He got off some major runs.
I think he had two like really long touchdown runs early in that game. Fred Jackson is the more senior guy in that running back room, but that other kid is definitely a change of pace back.
To me, this game, what I'm looking at specifically, Ike, and B. Will, you can let me know your thoughts here too. I love the defensive front. I even like our secondary. But what I'm paying attention to most is our linebackers in this game. That's Papo, that's Cam Riley. I watched the game. The Mercer-Morehead State game was a perfect example of having linebackers who are out of place, too slow to react, and just aren't shooting their gaps the way they're supposed to. The reason why Austin Douglas had 140 yards on 5 carries is because they were doing a lot of stuff we've seen in Harsin's offense, a lot of shifts, a lot of movements. And if they get you looking in the backfield, reacting slow, they're able to run their offense on you. I'm looking to see how Papo and Riley reacts to this offense. And are there, when the running backs hit the hole, are these guys meeting them there? Your thoughts on that, fellas?
Go ahead, B. You're on mute.
I mean, obviously, I'm a little worried about the linebackers for the same reason. Without the experience that we had last year, I know Papo's seen some. Obviously, he's seen 2 years of action, but I mean, he was off for a long time, and Riley's never been the dude, and neither has Joko, even though he'll be coming down kind of in different packages. But we got a lot of guys at the linebacker position who have never been the dude. Now, I know Eugene Asante does have game experience, and he will be on the field. I don't think the defensive depth chart really means much of anything. So much of what we do is going to be situational. It's going to be to get guys adjusted to playing different, playing zone here, playing man there, some shifts. We're going to fake some stuff. We're going to look man and be zone, and they got to get guys on the field to practice that. So it's not that anybody who's not listed as ones isn't going to see the field. So we'll have some more experienced guys on the field. I don't expect Mercer to present the challenge, though, that we're going to get later. But I do think it will be a wonderful time to see if our guys can just fill gaps like they're supposed to. Like that's really the game.
Yeah.
Fill the gap like you're supposed to. Because for the first time in a long time, and I thought it was interesting, Brian Harsin alluded to this when he was asked at the press conference on Monday, could they make anything of the percentage, the stats that TJ had over the course of camp? He said, yeah, I know you guys want to make it. You had a pick 6. He said, listen, man, this defense has seen this offense for like 4 weeks now. They know where they wanted to do. They know where we want to go with the ball. They've been watching the quarterback. So I don't make much of that. Similar to what we said here on Sunday. It was much ado about nothing. This will be the first time that you don't know what these guys are going to do. Mercer got that first game out of the way. And something I've heard from college football, talking heads and coaches, the most improvement happens from game 1 to game 2. They had their Mercer last week. Morehead State was as bad compared to Mercer as Mercer should be compared to us. And they had it. So they got to get those hits out their system. They got to finally exert some of that frustration that they probably had during fall camp. And I think that focuses the team more because the task at hand is like, all right, let's get rid of Morehead State. And then we focus in on Auburn because that's the big one. The same way we're going, all right, we got to get rid of Mercer and get some reps in on San Jose State so we can focus on Penn State. If anything, I think that would give them an opportunity to be more prepared to play this game than they would if it was the first game of their season. So they probably will, with some experienced running backs, have some different things, some pulling out some tricks and some misdirection things to get us off of our feet, because that's who you fool. When you fool people, you fool the linebackers. The defensive line is either going to get there or they're not. They're going to eliminate the room to work for the quarterback and the running backs, or they're not. I believe our defensive line will. The linebackers are cleaning up. If you get a linebacker going the wrong way, you can probably a first down. if not something better than that. So we saw what it looks like when the linebackers either guess wrong or read wrong against the first half against Georgia State. We saw it. It made an absolute world of difference. Do I think that's going to happen here? Not to that extent, but I do think it's going to be a wonderful test for those guys. And I hope, I don't know this, but I hope that whatever they have been doing on the defense to try to confuse and confound the offense in camp, the defense, they can say, all right, we're going to throw this at y'all. It sounds like the defense had their number, as they should, if they're as good a unit as we think they are. I hope that they have been equally, at some point, maybe in some way, trying to prepare the defense for different things as well. And maybe that's not something you have time for in fall camp. Maybe you're so focused on getting our offense down that you don't really try for, other things and go into your trick bag and try some stuff. But I would love to see our linebackers truly get tested. And with a speedy team, that's a great opportunity to get tested. And I think they will. And I think they'll perform well because I really think that we have a good coaching staff and they're thorough. So I think we'll be ready for
it. Ike, I saw what Mercer did to Morehead State's defensive line. It was
yeah. If you are a member and you saw that, watch the film. I was pointing out how the guard and the tackle for Morehead State on their defensive line was getting handled by the guard tackle combination, specifically on the right side of that line of scrimmage. I'm talking about starting just off the ball and getting walked 3 yards out towards the sideline on plays. It was
embarrassing. I felt sorry for Morehead.
I'm like, you can't go to watch that film the next day as a Morehead State defensive lineman and feel like your manhood didn't just get taken, because they were getting pushed around pretty badly. It was pretty bad. But again, we got to deal with Kobe Wooden, Jason Jones,
it's going to be a different week. It's going to be a different week.
You ain't doing that to them.
Right.
They've had, the likes of Georgia and Arkansas, and I mean that they've had to contend with on their offensive line stuff and not get pushed around like that. I just don't see that happening, dog. Like, maybe at best you get a stalemate. And let's be clear, Mercer had a couple of guys graduate from this offensive line. One of them actually was an undrafted free agent, went to the NFL, that's no longer here, and another guy who was all conference for them last year. So they've lost some starting experience off their offensive line. That was good. So they're replacing a couple of guys out front. I think their center is actually new as well. Right. And so they've got some stuff they got to do. DeFranco, I think, is back from last year. I want to say, I can't remember which of the other guys up front I saw playing last year, but I just don't see them pushing us around like that. So to B. Will's point, it's going to come down to the linebacker play, because the defensive line, I think, is going to mess everything that they have going on up front. You're going to have to see a lot of misdirection, a lot of screen game. They're going to have to do a lot of stuff just to try to get us out of position so that they have an opportunity to outflank. Because if they're going to try to run the ball straight ahead like they did against Morehead State, against this defensive line, good luck.
A lot of misdirect. Yeah, I agree with that, which is why I'm focused on the second level. How those guys.